round 5 of AOR's F1 Championship. This evening, however, I am joined with a co-commentator, Retro Ghost. Nice to have you, buddy.
Thank you everyone for welcoming me to the stream. Very gonna sit alongside the Lord Waffle, Raffa, as good old times say on, Zandvoort tonight.
So yeah,
Do bear with me, as I'm a little bit rusty and haven't been commentating on the previous races, but I'm sure we've got a fun thriller tonight. And sorry, I think you were just about to say something, buddy.
Yeah, so just to inform all those that are joining in and not necessarily sure of the format for this evening, it's not your standard week. We have got no qualifying, but we do have a reverse sprint race that's going to set the grid for the main race. And just going to get some telemetry up when we get a second, because we are going to get a formation lap and straight into some racing. So you'll see some very unfamiliar faces at the front of the grid because they are sat at the back of the championship, and your familiar faces are sat right at the back getting their squinters on to look at the lights as they go out. We're just waiting for players to pick their strategies, choose their setups, select their tyres, and we'll be good to go. I'm quite looking forward to this, Retro.
Yeah, so Zandvoort, so especially whether people choose speed over corners, so anyone can drive fast in a straight line, but it's how you handle the corners. Zandvoort will chew you up and spit you out on every corner given the chance.
Yeah, because there's really not much on the edge of the track there. It's either a wall or it's gravel or it's grass. There's very little in the way of tarmac runoff around here.
Yeah, exactly. It's where strategy becomes key.
Yeah, now I fully suspect these drivers, only 12 laps in this sprint, so it's very much flat out. It's probably going to be soft runners all the way around, but we will get that information as soon as we get given the option to do so. Thankfully, Codemasters has done out with the T-posing pit crews. They're no longer yeah, they're no longer about. We can see the cars lined up on the grid, but we are just waiting for the signal gun to go and for us to get on with the racing. So yeah, so we are 5 rounds in. We had some great racing so far. Last week in Azerbaijan, I did unfortunately miss a week of coverage due to illness, but the championship has been fired up. Aside from Persecuting and Moxie, we've had quite a lot of movement around the back of the grid. Oh, and here we go. So there's one light, and we're going to get going around 4. And we're going to have Crofty talking over us.
It's nice to see the formation lap back in the game where it's suddenly not become broken.
Yeah, so obviously Codemasters haven't had the best of runs in recent games. This formation lap has very much been the plague of most leagues, but it's nice to see the cars flying around in formation. We're going to get some great racing.
I think as well, through certain sources that the new game has got an early release date as well, rather than September. I think it's going to release quite early. It's interesting to see whether they can rush the release date to still launch a broken game. I mean, it is EA, so that's why we buy it every year, but yeah. Nonetheless, the racers are lining back up on the start grid just after doing their formation lap.
So it's not a long run down to Tarzan, the first corner. She's taking the 3rd gear, but they can go around it about 2 wide. It's quite well banked. So here we go. We finally have some control over the cameras. We're going to start off with Pedro at the front alongside Super Jesse. We have 5 lights and away we go. It's a good start from Super Jesse. Just tucks in, but he's going to take blue cars either side of him. And that's a great start from Phoenix there.
Well, relatively clean through turn 1 there. No contact coming through the tight technical part into what I call the carousel.
So we had 3 cars wide going around the carousel there.
One car's been taken out. We've got an Mercedes just about picking himself out off the wing. There's a Ferrari facing the wrong way. Safety car on lap 1.
Yeah, so this is hopefully in sprint safety cars. We're only going to get maybe 2 laps of this. The cars are quite close together. Let's actually get some... Yeah, so it's soft and medium, so we're not going to bore you with that too much. We're going to get a bit of telemetry up, and we're going to get a track map as well. Safety car's only just coming out of the first sector now. He's going to be waiting to pick up the pack. I only suspect we're going to have Johan being the one to look in to dive into the pits with a broken wing. But he has
Not
caught
to
up with the
mention his Mercedes teammate, I'm going to butcher this name, Persicelli, or Segali, whatever it is, that's the one, is also without a front wing. So both Mercedes drivers without a wing in the sprint race.
Now, obviously, they're not going to get held up too much in the pits underneath a safety car. They are at the back of the grid, and they're going to return to the back of the grid, which is obviously not far from ideal, but a better situation they could have hoped for. There's Rijad, who's been a race winner in previous seasons. And Mulstein also going into the pits, sticking on the soft tyre. Yes, it's absolutely the right thing to do.
Yo, as a 5-second penalty.
Must have sped into the pits. As he gets in now, right thing to do, stick on the soft tyre. Or has he jumped the start? Because he wouldn't have let him serve that if it was a pit lane entry error. But yeah, both Mercedes back out, rejoining the back of the pack. But Pedro has maintained his reverse championship pole position.
Come on, the Red Bull.
So,
Christian Horner would be proud.
He would be. He's just got to keep his text messages to himself.
Ooh.
So we're looking at the early winners and losers. So we've had Super Jesse swap places with Phoenix. We've had Gumarv getting 7 positions in the opening lap. Where in the world has he done that? I didn't really see any position changes through there, but Gumarv has managed to jump from outside the top 10 to P6. Fantastic racing. We've got a few, got Moxie at the back, who's jumped 3 places, going well against his title challenger, Persigili. So this is how they will set the grid for the main race. So already got a few jump positions on Persigili. And then others are just single place swaps. But we're going to go back to the front of the grid and see out this safety car, which I think has gone on for 1 additional lap more than I was actually expecting now, considering it's a sprint.
Yeah, so it's a minimum of 2 laps, and so it's only just started its 2nd lap now, so in theory it should be in the end of this lap.
I've just seen Johan has, he's gone to serve that additional time penalty that he gained. So he's gone in again, and I presume he's going to come out onto the softs again. We can confirm that.
Let's hope he saves a set of softs on a race.
Well, he said that he's only using tyres that he would have otherwise used up in qualifying, so he shouldn't make too much of a difference.
Well, hopefully.
He's hoping. I think Cody's are being nice to him. So yeah, we're going to have even more furious racing now. Everybody pretty much back onto the soft tyre with plenty of fuel to burn, all the ERS necessary to burn, and they're going to have probably DRS on Pedro all the way until the end. So it's quite an enviable spot Pedro's found himself in. And also, come 2024 or 2025, I think there's a rumour that they're going to drop the DRS activation limit down to just 1 lap. As we get safety car in this lap, as we mention it, off it goes. Now this will be a slow crawl around this embankment. Has to make sure the safety car finds its way into the pits before he can get going. If he overtakes it, it's dire consequences.
All eyes on Pedro for that restart.
He's weaving quite a bit, and he's off now. Off he goes. Great jump on Phoenix there. Really caught him napping. As we go down the field, we've got
Rally Monster chasing into the Red Bull into turn 1. Does look for a move, backs out of it into turn 1, but he's on the back of the gearbox of him. We do have the Ferrari, so Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri going at it into turn 1, side by side into the carousel. Lovely bit of racing, but I think the Alfa Romeo just sticks his nose in front.
Super Jesse has now got past Phoenix, the man who started in second, refined second.
Sim Persigili has made his way up into P13 already after the restart. It was a little bit of a battle with the McLaren.
As he looks like he's going to get 3 cars around in 1 corner. Fantastic move. As he now finds himself to the inside for the back straight.
there's a Ferrari and Aston Martin sandwich weaving down the straight, but seems to avoid all contact of wheels, going the 3 wide into tight corners. Oh my
Oh,
days.
the Aston Martin's really squeezed that Ferrari there. Perseguili, as ever, finds himself unscathed. It looks like he's worn out all of his bad luck early on. Finds himself only 3 places behind his main rival. As we go further up, we've got AVT passing round the outside of Sim Rally Monster. Can't quite make it stick. Coming into the carousel, which then leaves him susceptible to the Alpha Tauri of Guillemard. As AVT Passy just squeezed him there through the S's. Will he make a dive into the downhill section? Thinks better of it, but he is looking fast as Guillemard. AVT Passy not quite looking that comfortable. As he takes... as round goes Rally Monster. Let's hope he can rejoin safely and save his front wing. Oh my goodness. And he goes to the back of the grid.
Again, he's got a great run on the Aston Martin. Didn't quite get the move done, but he's on the back of the gearbox. I think the Alfa Romeo there was going to have a little factor play into that move from Perseguili, but I think he's going to stick behind him for now. And say lap 5 of this sprint race. Pedro's setting another fastest lap at a 1:11.1.
As we see Creamer get a great exit out the carousel, goes up the inside of Max Duca. And will this set up Perseguili as well?
So DRS has been enabled this lap after the safety car. Halfway through this sprint race.
And Super Jesse dropping places. Looks like he's just got himself out of shape in the carousel.
We've got Perseguili side by side with Max Duca into the downhill section. I think Perseguili just gets his car in front just before the braking point. Fantastic racing from him. So the Alfa Romeo was sticking it with him, but I think he's going to drop back a little bit here.
Well, we haven't been keeping really great tabs on Moxie. Moxie, with DRS approaching the back of the championship cars, he might even win this sprint all the way from the back row of the grid. He's got half a sprint race to do it, and considering his progress so far, this is absolutely on. But he's not quite close enough to overtake his teammate just yet, who's also got a DRS train going on.
So towards the back of the pack, we did have Tash and Mulchin have a little bit of a battle towards the sweeping right-hander, and Johan is also tagging on the back of this with DRS, trying to make a lunge.
Mulchin jumping to the inside of the Ferrari, getting it done, but the three of the Ferrari can stick around the outside. No, chooses to back out. And further up, Guillemard overtaking Super Jesse, super tight through the S's. And Moxie really wanting to play this well. He knows he can't just throw his nose into a battle of 3 cars. But it's quite a wide braking zone coming out here. Will he throw one in? Takes a look and just has to bring his nose out of it.
Yeah, fantastic defending from Jesse there.
But Guillemard found himself alongside with DRS around the back straight. Guillemard gets his nose ahead, but he's going to be on the outside. Going into the heavy braking zone, but gets his nose ahead, does well.
Sweeps across, lovely.
Picks up Max Duca, who's pretty close onto the back of Back to Lightyear, who's found himself in a bit of no man's land, not really able to fight with the remainder of the top 10.
That done start straight with DRS. He's going to make a move on Super Jesse down here. Both drivers having DRS into turn 1. We've got Moxie on the inside. Is he going to stick one on the inside? He gets the nose in front just about, but I think Jesse still sticking in there. I think he gets a little bit out of shape on the grass there, ceding the position, so Moxie into P5.
Yeah, I've lost it there many a time. That inside curve is really harsh. Moxie with a bit of overspeed though, going straight after Phoenix.
Yeah.
I think this move's going to be on by the time he reaches turn 9. These medium tyres looking like, even over the half the race distance that was remaining after the safety car, they're just performing that little bit better on the longer life.
Yeah, so Moxie all over the back of Phoenix into the DRS straight.
As Phoenix goes defensive, takes him far to the inside, but the overspeed of Moxie gets that move done nicely by the end of the straight.
And then Phoenix then also vulnerable to Super Jesse behind him as well.
Some of the less experienced lower championship drivers just starting to feel like their luck is snowballing down the grid. As we do have Gurmarv picking up P2 off AVT Pasty. And we've got Super Jesse and Solid Ninja Snake. That Solid Ninja Snake. I did wonder where he went. I couldn't see him. But no, there's his nose off on the exit of the pits. This late in the race, I don't think we're not going to get a safety car. Oh, we do have a safety car.
Oh, that's interesting, safety car. But I think it was just a little bit unfortunate of Super Jesse and Solid Snake having a little bit of a touch wheels together and Snake getting a bit out of shape. So unfortunately, just however he must have collided with a wall or another car and say just damaged his wing.
And dramatic misfortune for the Haas team there. Simu Rally Monster also picking up a drive-through penalty, presuming for speeding over the Delta.
Yeah.
But this has really caused havoc for those drivers that are leading the championship coming through the pack. Their progress over the next 2 laps is just completely halted. They can't do anything. They may get 1 or 2 laps worth of racing. So Moxie in P4, Persegili in P8.
Yeah, just to go over the positions, as you say, buddy, it's just Gulmarv has moved up 11 places into P2, Moxie into P4, 11 places, Persegili into P8 has made 8 places, and so he's sitting there under a safety car for the next lap or 2. He's going to cause some rubber to get burned and just itching away, just that fuel's going to be burning away.
Well, they're going to be sitting pretty heavy. There's 2 safety car periods going on here.
Especially in a sprint race as well.
Now, with it being Zandvoort, would some of the more experienced drivers maybe have underfueled, anticipating the safety car? So maybe this isn't all the negative that we might think. Maybe they needed this.
I think they're gonna. If they know they've got the speed, they've got the racecraft to do it. I think they're gonna try send it with the lower fuel, knowing that Zandvoort is a safety car haven.
Yeah, so I suspect that's going to be, if it is being used in the sprint, it'll be even used more to the extreme when it comes to the main event. So just for the forming up now, it's Tash jumping into the pits. I didn't see. I think he was the one who did clash with Sim Rally Monster. Oh, and Tash has got an awful long way to go, as do both of the Haas drivers. Now, the question is Simu Rally Monster going to get to serve this directly as the safety car comes in? I don't think he will be able to. So we've got Red Bulls basically dominating the top 4 positions. AlphaTauri now. Zach Brown's comments are really being proven here. It's not fair that one team has dominion over 4 drivers, 4 cars. But Pedro has put the hammer down and off he goes. Will there be any team orders coming from Mr. Horner? Or will they get to race cleanly and fairly for those positions? Super Jesse, pull him on out. That's a bit further behind. We're getting a few squeezes to the wall, but all drivers seem to come out just fine.
Persegili, a little bit of a moment there, I think I saw just on the snippet off the corner.
But he seems to be back going now. He's refound that 8th position, but now he's been a bit crowded through the S's with Tezik and Phoenix going side by side. Great respectful racing, but Persegili won't be appreciating it. They're blocking his way. Moxie still in P4. He's got 2 laps to do something miraculous, but he might just count.
Got Backlight here taking a few braking marker boards off the side of the track for a spin, letting Creamer past. Whether that was team orders from the
Tezik gets back past Phoenix. Now invites Persegili in, but he's boxed in again on the outside, going into the bus stop. Oh, as he then gets across Phoenix and turns him round. Persegili gets the position, but at what cost is that going to come up in penalties later on? Now it's put him a gap behind Tezik now. He's not going to get this position. And now he's also susceptible to those cars behind him who have picked up more speed from the carousel. Further back, Muslin trying to go round the outside of Creamer, not getting it done. Tash and Clean Air getting the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, we've got Moxie all over the back of this Red Bull here. Doesn't quite get the move done, looks for it, but Pasty just defends himself very well there in the downhill section. Is he going to make a move here? Is this going to be a 1-3 for Red Bull?
So we've got Red Bull fighting AlphaTauri, Red Bull fighting AlphaTauri for the remainder of the podium positions in the sprint. As we come towards the checkered flag.
We've got Tezik all over Super Jesse. No DRS because of the safety car. Yellow flag in Sector 2. I believe that is Phoenix.
Just going from bad to worse since that incident with Persegili. Tezik doing some great defence. Super Jesse looking for the outside. They're going to come into the carousel. But looks like Tezik has this one finished off. We've got Pedro about to cross the line, but Gurmov is getting in the slipstream. It's going to go right to the line. Gurmov gets him on the line.
Unbelievable. Fantastic race from Pedro, but unfortunately right at the line.
And Tezik does get overtaken after the line, but he does get that position. Moxie, after all that, does not quite get the podium finish that he wanted, but will be very happy to see that Persegili is going to start a few rows behind him. And Simrani Monster, I don't think he'll be too fussed about that. He was pretty much last anyway, and he will start, he'll finish the race in last place as of the finishes. As Phoenix, powers into the pits to finish the race.
Interesting strategy.
Hey, Michael Schumacher did it once. Everyone called him a genius until he had that win taken off him.
And so driver of the session is Gulumar from the sprint race.
I don't think we could disagree with that. It was a fantastic stint he put in, and to take the win on the line was brilliant. And there just pips up Pedro on the line by 34 thousandths of a second, with AVT Pasty rounding off the podium. Moxie gaining 11 positions in the end to bring up to P4. Tezik at P5, Super Jesse, followed by Persegili, who's got a lot of work to do to challenge Moxie on this very difficult overtaking track. Creamer following the championship leaders through. He's starting in P8, which I think he'll take as a win. Mudslane, the super smooth man in P9, and Max Duca, who is always aggressive, will get his elbows out, I'm absolutely sure. Then we have Solid Ninja Snake, Johan, Bachelor Lightyear, and Tash, and then whoever I didn't get quite to read before the lobby sent me moving along. But now I'm looking forward to this retro. We've got a lot of people out of position. It hasn't quite flipped the entire grid. But we do have the leaders, one of those important ones, near the front, but separated by a few cars.
And so it's just Persegili on the sprint race was just trying to make as much damage limitation as he could, starting towards the back of the grid, just trying to pry himself through the pack on that sprint race to try and get himself as far up the field as he could. And so whether strategy then comes into play, trying to fight and get towards Moxie. So had a fantastic race. And so Gulmarv as well.
So I think with the difficult overtaking nature of this track, there's a good chance that Gulmarv could just bank those two cars behind him and just keep his teammates at bay. There's not been too much in the way of team orders I've seen so far in this championship, so I suspect there won't be that much more going forward. So we're going to get another formation lap. Crofty is going to give us a bit of commentary.
To see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
So as we see there, we've got most of the grid on medium tyres, the few at the back on hards, with AVT Pasty and Creamer electing to go on the softs. Two drivers are very fast over a single lap, but have been a bit thwarted in other races, but I've seen also had good results as well.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid.
And we see the unblinking eyes of Gulmarv about to line up in his grid slot. As we hear some lovely trivia coming from the on-site announcer. I didn't know that, to be honest. The orange comes from the Dutch royal family.
I thought you would have known that.
I didn't know that. It's not in my book.
Put that in your cheat book.
Yeah. I'm not even going to attempt to do some of these corner names. So
yeah,
we've got...
I probably wouldn't for stream purposes.
So 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go. Fast starting by Gulmov there. Off he goes. The 2 Red Bulls side by side. We head back to
Moxie!
Oh no!
Straight into the back of the Red Bull.
And Pedro in the barrier and out, just like the sprint. Safety car out straight away. Pedro didn't even make it round a quarter of a corner. Gulmov.
I'm sure we're going to see that in the steward's room.
And Moxie, how's he looking? He took a bit of a hit. He is missing his right hand end plate. And a track which is very technical. Will he look to go to the back and pit all that hard work he did in the sprint? He might have to undo depending on his strategy here. Did we get any immediate moves? Yes, we obviously everybody moved up 1 position because of Pedro, but we had a few people because Super Jesse dropped down position. Moxie's lost 1. Persegili jumping 3 ahead of Moxie with no damage.
And so Tash on the start of that lap 1 before the turn 1 carnage has jumped up 4 places into P10.
So yeah, lots of very fortunate movers. A lot of people not so fortunate. Pedro, if you want to drop into the stream, would love to know what happened. Were you squeezed? Were you tapped? It'd be fantastic to hear from you. But I suspect the red mist is still clouded over his mind. So
yeah, it's unfortunate after a fantastic sprint race, and so getting pipped on the line of the sprint race to then get taken out.
So as we do catch Moxie race, going into the pits to fix that front wing, and then subsequently then picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Just going from what was a fantastic sprint race to just really not going well for him now. And Persegili will be licking his lips.
So it now takes him into P4. Creamer also in P5 as well.
Yeah, Creamer's not too estranged to this sort of position. I've named people podium bouncers before, and I think Creamer definitely fits that description.
Of course, being in the Aston Martin, you would call him the podium bouncer.
I do like myself a bit of green.
Not biased, of course.
Not biased at all. So as I suspect we'll be going fairly soon. Moxie is catching the back of this pack, so I don't think with this lap, I think will be next lap we do get going. Oh, safety car, wow! Safety car in quick. This lap. Very fast.
That was really quick.
That's like Michael Massey on speed.
No, Mikey, no.
No, Mikey, no. Get this race going. Michael Massey said, "We go motor racing."
Indeed, we are on the restart, all watching Gulmov coming around this right-hand banker, waiting for the safety car to get back inside of Bert Sanders in that safety car.
So we're missing Pedro, who's had 2 great restarts. And it looks like he's going now, just before the line. But Super Jesse dicing with Johan in the rear.
We've got Tezek and Pasti going into it into turn 1. The McLaren getting a brilliant inside line.
Diving down the inside of Johan. Oh, just misses his right rear.
Oh, the McLaren and the Red Bull with a bit of a touch into the carousel. Still wheel banging into the carousel.
But that invites Persegili alongside.
He does indeed. He's going to be licking his lips at this, watching these two battle it out.
Oh, there's a touch!
Big wheel bang.
Oh, they're just, oh my god, they're like magnetised together. Now I think the only person that's going to come out of positive interaction from this is going to be Persegili. He's like the only one really taking caution in this fight. As AVT Pasti heads onto the grass, Persegili doesn't quite manage to bring it round the outside, almost gets his wing taken off as he comes back on, which then invites Creamer up alongside. He's going to get boxed out by the Red Bull. Oh, he does throw it down, a fantastic move. Great overhead shots here. But it looks like Persegili's going to get the traction. And he does. Creamer's going to attempt to pick up the slipstream here once again.
He's getting a great exit speed off that corner. He's going to send one down the start straight here.
Yeah, Persegili goes defensive, comes to the middle of the track. Doesn't really matter, you slow down close quite enough here. to hold it tight, hold it true. Persegili loses the position initially. He keeps around the outside. He's going to be on the inside, coming into the carousel. And takes that tighter line. Creamer ducks back under the inside. I'm struggling to find where to look. I think most of the action is happening.
Up Moxie on the back of the other Aston Martin in the downhill section here of back Lightyear. Was all over the back of the gearbox of that Aston Martin. Moxie looking for a move into heavy braking point. Gets it done into P12.
Fantastic. Here he goes. And we have Max Duca down the back straight. Lots of Ferrari power vying for this position. Braking too wide into the bus stop. And Solid Ninja Snake comes out there on top. The man who had quite the incident in the sprint pushes forward. And now we have Persegili unable to shake Creamer, but is keeping his cool, moving forward. These two might do well to just agree to disagree until later on.
DRS has now been enabled just to add that fire to the flame.
As we've got Moxie on the inside of Super Jesse, almost
slip. Tash as well, all over the back of Max Duca once again in this downhill section of Sector 2. You send one into the heavy braking point.
Turn 9 is nice and wide, multiple lines can be taken, but nothing happening there this lap. In the midst of this, Tezik is finding himself well within the DRS zone, DRS detection of Gulmarv.
So it's a big old train here from, I believe, P8 all the way down to P12 at the moment.
Yeah, all headed off by Solid Ninja Snake in P7. Tezik closing on Gulmarv.
We've got Moxie trying to make a move on Super Jesse into turn 1. Gets a late break in. Oh no, he snags him.
Sends him out wide. Invites Johan in, who does also get a move on Super Jesse. We're just going to have to live with that for now.
Solid Ninja Snake does get his nose in front of Tash in the sector here. Not sure whether that was a connection problem or Tash has gently tapped the back of that Haas through this Sector 2 section. A big old Moxie coming right at the back of this Ferrari, wanting to eager and get past these guys. DRS is enabled on this back straight. Oh, sorry, second DRS straight, not back straight.
This is a back straight, it's opposite to the pit lane.
Well, it's not really a back straight though, is it? It's just a blip.
These F1 cars that can reach 220, 230 miles an hour with DRS open, it's not much to them. But it does look like Tash is a bit down on top speed, you know, even with DRS. Moxie, both of them have DRS here, but Moxie just flying by.
I was going to interrupt you there, mate. Creamer nearly went for a move on Persegili side by side into turn 1. I think Persegili did just kind of stick his neck in front for that little bit longer. So he does hold on to P4 all over the back of AVT Pasty.
So it looks like they're settling down just a little bit. Everybody's engaging in a bit of self-preservation at this point of the race. But not Moxie, who's super close on Solid Ninja Snake, but not close enough to...
A nice line through there. Is he going to take the position? Solid Snake did drift wide into that position, and Moxie had a great inside line all over the back of him on this DRS straight. I think he's going to not get it done on this one. It might look to be done on the start straight. Oh, Solid Ninja Snake getting a bit of a wiggle on going over that curb in, which then invites Moxie back in again.
Yeah, the last person you want to be showing any sort of weakness to is Moxie. But now Max Duca, even though he has DRS, he has not got the slipstream that Moxie's about to use. As Moxie looks to the inside, does get alongside, but Solid Ninja is going to use the bank on the outside, and round goes, half spin by Moxie, and then gets back alongside like he's kept his foot in. What a move! The solid interstate just fall backwards. Can't quite believe he's lost that. How was Moxie going 45-degree turn, still going forward and taking a move? Wow.
And so in the midst of all that, we did have Backlight here stick a beautiful move on Super Jesse through turn 1. Great move from him, just flicking through the pack here. We've got AVT Pasty making a move on Tezik.
That's been a long time coming.
Then Persegili is all over the back of this McLaren and this Red Bull as well.
Just biding his time. We're going to have one more look at the tyres. So AVT Pasty, thanks to the safety car, has managed to extend these softs, but I suspect he'll be in fairly soon. And Persegili will say thank you for letting him just slot into the back of the podium. But he does have Creamer attempting one round the outside. Creamer also on the soft tyres, having been extended under the safety car.
Yeah, Creamer's been a real thorn in Persegili's side this feature race so far. It'd be great to see those guys fight towards the end, because they almost soft tyres have been preserved due to the safety car.
The question is though, will it mean that either one of them can take this to a one stop only? The soft is still at this point questionable. I think they'd need to get at least to lap 15 to make this a valid one stop for the soft tyres.
Yeah, it's very, very pushing it very far.
Now Moxie on Max Duca, who has very much dropped off P6. That's 3.5 seconds the gap to Michelin. Bit of clean air for him, might help him preserve his tyres, but that only is going to help him battle those that are coming fast up behind him.
Oh, Creamer having a bit of a snap in that fast right-hander before the start straight, but doesn't seem to phase him. Trying to chase down Persegili down the start straight.
As Persegili goes for a move, gets alongside, goes deep, and gets himself turned, which then puts him across Creamer. Was Creamer's drive affected? Yes, it was.
Very hard on the brakes then.
Great awareness from Creamer. Whilst he didn't benefit, he didn't lose out, which is often a win in racing if you can take it. Further back we've got Moxie through the S's, thinking, oh, when can I take Max Duca? He's on the soft tyres, he needs to make his tyre work. No point not having the pace to use. I highly suspect he's going to dive into turn 9. He doesn't, he's still holding on to the slipstream. I think he wants a nice easy one down the DRS straight. Yeah, here he goes. DRS open. Max Duca has nothing to defend other than what looks like some supreme straight line speed. A low downforce setup is keeping him safe to Moxie for the time being. But Persegili super close. He's looking like he's going to get a great exit onto the pit straight. He's basically pushing Tezik along. Flicks to the inside, gets himself straight alongside, looking to leave Creamer behind. But Creamer
then going to fight one as well. Into turn 1 on the inside.
Oh, he does, but he turns himself. And that, I don't think that'll be a safety. Oh, this is going to be a huge distraction for everybody going through. He's very fortunate of his ghost there. I think that was a bit opportunistic there. It's not surprising that Tezik maybe did not see him coming. Thankfully for Tezik, he's not been affected by that. He's only lost the position to Persegili, which I think he would have accepted anyway at some point.
Yeah, Persegili giving a bit of breathing room from Creamer now.
Oh, as Pasty's out, as we now have a safety car.
Oh, I think that might be a golden shot for some of the soft runners to be able to get a chance to get off those worn softs. I think 15 laps on the softs.
Moxie gets to serve this 5-second penalty exactly when he'd want it, with the safety car to remove the 5-second penalty. So this has fallen absolutely in Moxie's lap.
It's like it was a Red Bull budget cap plan, but they're both out. Maybe it's all sprung to AlphaTauri instead, because Red Bull can't.
We shall save on the budget by by removing 2 of the cars from the team. As we also see Persegili pitching ahead of Moxie. He gets a small delay going to the pits. But he's going to drop a little bit back. It is still relative. As he comes out in P10, 5 places behind Perseguili, which is a flip opposite to how they started this race.
And so both Ferraris on the hards, staying out. Rally Monster, after an unfortunate sprint race, finds a way into P2, starting on a different tyre strategy as well. 3 drivers still left to pit of 13 drivers. Be interesting to see how quick this safety car is as well.
Well, they are pretty much all there, aren't they? It's a very short track, in all.
Yeah, I think it's what, a minute 10, minute 12 a lap, so pretty quick.
Yeah, fastest lap so far with Perseguili is 1 minute 11.9. So great knowledge there, Retro.
I know. So what? Who needs a cheat book, eh?
Yeah, for those who wondering what Retro is referring to, I do have a Circuits of the World book that was issued in 2023. It's already starting to get a little bit outdated. So just caught. Oh, that's Splash Lightyear going into the pits, maybe not wanting to see out what hard tyres he was on. And it looks like he's going to have a fresh set of mediums slapped on his car.
Be interesting to speak about your cheat book is that fact of it might have to get so updated where so many new tracks are being phased out and added in. It's just the book is just non-existent.
Becomes irrelevant. Yeah, I mean we're already getting Madrid Grand Prix, the Melbourne. Literally, as soon as we start, the new game came out. Melbourne in it was irrelevant because they took out the middle chicane. They redid Spain in the final sector.
Yeah, so I think there was something that I saw, I think, on Reddit. It was how mad it's already got. Melbourne to become calendar #1 again. Say Madrid coming. They're supposed to be phasing out the Catalonia Grand Prix. So I think I mentioned the Madrid one, another probably Mexican-American one as well, because they do love a track with left-hand corners only.
Sorry to interrupt you, Retro. We have just got the message for safety car in this lap. So for I believe it's the 4th different leader so far in this race is going to restart under the safety car of Tash 22KA, a man that's not too used to being in this position, and he is starting to stretch the grid out. It's quite a fast restart he's doing. They will bunch up eventually, but what he doesn't want to do is be called a dangerous starter by stretching the grid this much.
So it's all
and he goes.
In that Ferrari, he can do a good restart or be a Ferrari strategy man.
As all Ferrari power leads the grid off.
He does get a good restart though. Nice
as Gulmarv round the outside, doesn't get himself tagged by the Ferrari. And so Johan joining Perseguili. Perseguili looking around Lucasone and gets it done through the S's. Puts himself right behind who his biggest contender of this race probably is now, which is Gulmarv.
He's all over the back of him.
Just maybe, I think Sim Rally Monsters used very old tyres in this restart. Oh, Perseguili looks for a very early move there. I think
that was ambitious.
It was. I think they just both want to get past Simu Rally Monster before they start thinking about battling with each other. Simu Rally Monster looking pretty weak at this point in the race.
We've got Johan as well looking for a move on the Ferrari, going round the outside.
Oh,
the
they
Ferrari
both get
and
sideways.
Mercedes collide, which then Mulchan then unfortunately comes into grips of that, but Johan does get in front. Both Mercedes moving up a place that lap.
Mulchan looks to dip back there on the inside, but when he turns back in, he finds Moxie there, who then almost sends Solid Ninja Snake into the wall. We've got 3 wide going to turn 1. Perseguili finding himself into 2nd place. Gulmov looking to keep it round the outside, doesn't get it done. Persegili now only one position away from a Hamilton-style last the first challenge. I suspect Persegili is going to want to get this done pretty quickly. He wants to get his nose out of the action and into the lead. Just wants to run away with it.
Gulmov all over the back of Persegili as well. Not to
throws
mention,
one in. Oh my goodness! Round goes Tash and through goes Gulmov. Tash went from the lead to now pretty much last place. We've got Max Duca having issues as well. We've got going to have 3 wide going into the bus stop. Max Duca going deep and into... Oh, as we've got cars jumping all over the place.
I think that was the McLaren of Tezik there, just about dosing at the right time to avoid a collision with Lucasone. But it is all over the back of him.
Goes to the outside.
Has been enabled this lap.
Oh my goodness, it's going to go 3 wide, 4 wide. Positions changing all the time. Tezik has kept his nose ahead in all of that. Max Duca pushes Creamer wide.
But he seemed like a sitting duck down that straight.
Thank you, KD Motorsports, for joining us. Moxie finding himself behind the Mercedes now. Persegili is going to want Johan to defend like a lion.
So he wants to be that ultimate wingman.
But Gulmov is probably a much tougher opponent than Johan's going to be to Moxie. No disrespect. I'm only going on championship standings. No hate, no hate.
Oh, Persegili with some really late braking into the bus stop there, nearly taking out Gulmov there. Right all over the back of the gearbox with his fast right-hander. Is he going to get a move done? DRS has now been enabled this lap.
So here comes Persegili. He's had the lead once, almost been sent into the pit lane. But with speed and with power, with DRS, he takes over the lead of the race as Moxie close behind, overtaking Johan.
Moxie picking up the fastest lap with a 1:11.5. Great racing from him. Both AlphaTauris on the podium at the moment.
The question is, I haven't really been tracking Gulmov's tyres, but I highly suspect he's probably going to want to give this up to Moxie if they want to win over the Mercedes. So, big constructor battle here, Mercedes versus AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri, I believe, who are leading the championship as it currently stands by some margin. Relatively OP team, if you ask me.
And work together. So whether team orders is going to play from Gulmov or Moxie, both drivers have been fantastic so far this race.
I'm just picking up Tezik, who's very much been in the wars this race, but has kept his nose nice and clean. He's got Max Duca chasing him down.
So Gulmov, I think, is just about hanging on the back of Persegili with DRS. I don't think he's quite as close to make a move down into turn 1, but Persegili still takes the fastest lap, even though he has no DRS, with a 1:11.4. Fantastic.
Yeah, just chipping away that fastest lap of Moxie. We've got Creamer. Is he going to go for the other Haas as well? Not wise at the moment. We've got Sim running once going down the inside of Tezik. Tezik looks for the cutback. Can he get alongside before the S's? Yes, he can. We're going to go side by side through here. Spook Sim running Monster just that little bit and gets ahead. Experienced racing there from Tezik.
Fantastic from him, sticking his neck out just in the right place at the right time.
KD Motorsports, yes, this is a cross-platform league. If you're on the channel, you can find links to the Discord and what other championships and games that we do race on.
So we did have a nice little moment from Max Duca chasing down Rally Monster, but didn't quite get a move done. And so nice little train down the start straight. Yeah, I did just see that Max Duca coming to join the back of that Haas F1 car, which is not what Gunther would have wanted. But here we have Max Duca making a move down the start straight. Both drivers having DRS. A fantastic performance of speed from Max Duca there.
And Creamer also getting it done by the end of the straight on solid Ninja Snake. But Tash overtaking his teammate at the back of the grid.
Oh,
They're
side by side.
Oh no! I thought we were going to see a typical Ferrari moment.
It's all Benotto. It's all over.
Benotto's back. Yeah, Solid Ninja Snake coming to the back of Creamer now. Two drivers that have been in the wars but finding themselves in competitive positions nonetheless.
And so we have found Moxie just dropping out of the DRS at the moment, but does seem to chip his way back into it. So he has pulled out a gap from the Mercedes of Johan.
So yeah, now is the time for the AlphaTauris to really think about what they want to do with Perseguili. Now, Perseguili will be thinking that he maybe doesn't need to pit again. Gurmov looking very aggressive
Moxie.
on Perseguili though. If you can just spook him into defence, this will bring Moxie into play as Moxie takes another 10th out of the 10th that Perseguili set just a few laps ago.
So
Super Jesse
is mounting.
on Phoenix. Oh, there's a touch. Both go round in turn 1.
Safety car.
Oh, no. Michael.
No, Mikey, no.
Oh my goodness. Creamer. That's why. Creamer is in the wall. Aston Martin out.
What happened?
It just looks like he's lost it out the first turn.
Oh, that's unfortunate. A fantastic race so far. Hats off to you, buddy. Unfortunate it's the way it happened. So we do have a safety car on lap 20 of 36. This will throw a big spanner into the works of tyre strategies for the drivers that elected to go on the longer stint. Is it worth changing for a shorter stint? What do you think, buddy?
I mean, there have been some good overtakes. Overtakes have been quite common so far. Probably not as common as the ones that came from the back would have liked, but they've been common enough to maybe think about a charge back through the grid. I think if they were to pit now underneath safety car speeds, would he play chicken? Does he go in? He does. Oh, as the AlphaTauris stay out, Gurmov, naughty, cross the pit lane to stay out. But Moxie goes in. He's matching Perseguili's strategy. He does not trust Perseguili coming up behind him with faster tyres. Moxie goes on to the mediums. Perseguili goes on to the soft split strategy for the championship leaders. But Perseguili, has he managed to put these cars between him? He has! He's put a Williams and an Alpine in between him and Moxie. Probably will be quickly dispatched by Moxie, but it's enough time for Perseguili to throw himself ahead at the leaders.
Just whilst the drivers are changing their tyres, we will go over the position changes at the moment. So Mulchan does move up into P2 on the safety car, making 7 positions. Riyadh has moved into P5, 12 positions at the moment. Phoenix has made up 10 positions moved into P6, making up 10 positions even. Johan dropping down to P8, so both Mercedes drivers have pitted. Just having a look there through the screen. Unfortunately, our biggest loser at the moment is Super Jesse, for unfortunate turn of events, has dropped into P13 and is down 7 places.
Now, that in comparison with the tyres, Super Jesse, really big loser. I mean, he's not even at the back with fresh tyres. If I was him, he'd probably want to consider a pit stop. He's on 11 lap old medium tyres to get him to the end. Rijad and Phoenix a little bit out of position. They're on 9 lap hard tyres. Obviously, that's not too uncommon around that pointy end of the grid. But they are going to probably get cleaned up relatively quickly by Moxie and Perseguili. But to maintain those top 10 positions with all those on hard, they're not the worst thing to consider. But we're going to have Johan, the Solid Ninja Snake, Max Duca, Sim Rally Monster, Tash and Lucazone all on the fastest rubber heading towards the end of the race. As we do see Super Jesse, I wonder if he is listening to the stream. He has gone onto the softs to see this race out.
Yeah, I think it's a wise move. So going on, say, the faster compound at this point in the race, you kind of got to give it all to make it stick for the drivers that are going to stay out on the other tyres.
I do think we might just about get safety car in this lap if Lucazone and Super Jesse get a shimmy on. So, past the halfway point now. We're 2/3 of the way through this race. We've got 14 laps worth of racing. We're almost the limit of the safety cars. So hopefully we do get one more. We'll just get endless racing towards the end. I've noticed that Ridjad is running around disconnected. So that is one place that Moxie will take quite easily.
And so safety car is back in this lap, so we will get underway as it stands at the moment for 13, 14 more laps of racing.
As we see Mulshane really looking eager to get a move on with this, as Persegili does, looking around the outside of Tezik. Gulmarv showing a lot of experience here, really bunching the pack. Just going to creep around this corner. Increasing a little bit of speed, but not too much.
And so using that experience to see if he can catch any drivers sleeping, which I think he might have done.
Yeah, Mulshane dropping way back. Tezik not napping though on the back of Mulshane. He's right on his gearbox. Which way would he go? He looks to the outside. Mulshane pushes him, keeps him out wide. Tezik looks for a move around the outside. Can't keep it stuck.
Moxie has already dispatched one Mercedes already. He is currently chasing down Persegili. He's still got a little bit of way to go yet, but he has dispatched one Mercedes already. Solid Ninja Snake has moved past Phoenix.
So
Tash has moved past the disconnected car.
Tezik defending heavily to Persegili. Persegili has got it done though. Soft versus old hard. Great move through the S's. He's got Mulshane and Gulmarv now.
Purple sector 1 on them softs already, so he's... Oh, here's a big snap there. Great catch from him.
As we have Max Duke. Oh my goodness. Max Duke playing around in the sand in the background.
Get a bucket and spade. Persegili, oh my days, what a fantastic move from there. Into the bus stop. I just about clocked it. I didn't get a nice aerial shot, but I flicked onto Mulchan, and what an absolute move that was.
Sorry to those on the stream, we did miss that one as we were watching Max Duke play in the sand. But Persegili's going for one again. This is the big one. This is the lead. He's already got it done down the straight. Sets the fastest lap.
111.1. Fantastic.
Oh, and just no defence from the hard tyre runners as Moxie does pick up another position around the outside of Tezik. The race is still doable for Moxie here, but he definitely needs to see these medium tyres come into a better bit of life than Persegili softs, who's going to have to go on a bit of a management mission to get these to the end. But Moxie does not want to wait. He's already on Mulshane. He takes to the track, the slip road to get a bit more wide traction. Will he throw one deep into turn 9? No, not quite yet. It's not been his hunting ground, that corner.
Moxie has elected to take the inside line of that corner multiple laps, and it has worked in his favour, but not quite that time.
DRS not open yet, but he has got the drive. Looks to the outside. Mulshane goes very defensive and has lost that position before the corner entry.
Both AlphaTauris into P2 and P3 at the moment.
Oh, as Phoenix sends Bachelayya into the gravel. Bachelayya losing multiple positions there to the two Ferraris and the Alfa Romeo. It's Persegili. Oh my goodness.
What an animal.
So low fuel, fast tyres. Moxie's going to have a hard time beating that early on. As we have a yellow flag.
Was a McLaren?
Tezik, who's kept his nose so clean. Oh my goodness. As that would surely be another safety car if we've got any left.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, as Tezik almost runs into the back of Bachelayya.
Once again.
Tezik almost sent Bachelayya into infinity and beyond.
I wanted to say it, but I stopped myself from saying it. To infinity and beyond, bless him. He nearly got sent into next week.
He had a ramp as well. Oh, sorry. The professionalism on the stream is taking a hit, but we're enjoying ourselves. I hope you are too. We are gonna. This should be the last safety car. I believe that's 4 now. This race, so that should be it. So we go back to position change. As Persegili elects to pit.
Again?
He's given up his track position. presume he's seen the speed of those soft tyres and he wants more. Moxie also into the pits.
Goulmarth has pitted as well. Everyone's pitting now.
Apart from Simu Rally Monster. He wants to go racing, but
Bert Maylander.
Yeah, I couldn't get his name out.
I called him Bert Sanders earlier by mistake.
Always, he almost runs into the back of him. He wanted to race him so much.
That's it.
So almost the entire grid now on soft tyres, apart from the very brave Sim Rally Monster and a non-existent Rijad, who's running around in AI. Probably a solid strategy at this point with the amount of safety cars. So we're going to get these two, well, Sim Rally Monster absolutely swamped on this restart. We don't know quite how much Tyre Life Super Jesse will have lost in the 4 laps of running that he's had, but I'm not sure if he knows everybody else in the grid has got absolutely fresh boots. So yeah, drama. Be nice to the llama. We are going to get going again in just a couple of laps. And I believe we have unfortunately lost our co-commentator. I believe he's had to tend to family matters, so you're going to have just me for the final few laps of the race. So we're going to have at least one more lap of this safety car. Others are peeling into the pits. Got Mulshane and Mulshane and Johan into the pits. Softs for softs, I presume. I don't think this will affect the final standings. Well, how they go racing towards the end.
So apologies for that, having a quick networking issue, but I am joining back into the session to hopefully pick up this fantastic race.
We've got you. So we've just seen Musha and Johan jump back into the pits for even fresher rubber. So I suspect safety car should be in this lap. We've not got too many laps left. It all depends how it judges Mushlane and Johan. We do get safety car in this lap. Just so I know, Retro, are you seeing everything that we're seeing?
I am indeed. Safety car is back in this lap. I can confirm that.
As Persegili in P4 with Rijad. Not
It's
quite sure what his AI car is doing.
In the works. So being ghosted, I think the game tells you to go round the ghosted car. When you try to, it will then penalise you for doing it, which is a big frustration to Persegili, who wants to get the moves done.
The Simu Rally Monster doing a moderately speeded restart and has gone early, very bold, but has caught Super Jesse napping. Persegili getting that move done early with Moxie coming up behind him as well. There's now nothing separating Persegili and Moxie. The fight is on. They're going to go chasing down the slower cars ahead for the top positions. Super spicy now.
I think Persegili unfortunately didn't. He got penalised for overtaking the ghosted car. That's unfortunate. That is definitely going to hinder his race now.
This very much hands it to Moxie. He may plead to the stewards after the race to get that removed, but for now, I'm assuming Moxie will know this as experienced racers. Finish where you want to finish, and the stewards can decide stuff afterwards.
It's not over till it's over. Persegili all over the back of Super Jesse.
He needs to put cars between him and Moxie. Moxie looking super hungry, taking wide lines to speed up his exits. He's right there, he's right on the gearbox. as Super Jesse ducks to the inside.
Exit.
Oh, I think we're going to be 3 wide going into Tarzan, you know, Retro. Persiguili's gone well to the inside. Moxie looking for a dive in between the two. Thinks better of it.
Get into P2. Moxie also sending one round Super Jesse as well. Super Jesse just about slips behind him, dropping to P4. Both his drivers giving it absolutely everything.
Now Simi Rally Monster on old mediums. I don't suspect he's going to be here that long. He just needs to behave himself whilst he's there. There's battles further down the grid, but we're going to stick out with this one for the lead. Simi Rally Monster, very much a thorn in the battle for the lead. And Super Jesse drops down even further, as does Tash.
Gumov.
Gumov joining this in as well. As Persiguili looks to the inside, does that let Moxie through as well? Oh, he has to hang around the outside, doesn't get the ideal line.
Oh, but I think he slows down Gumov as well. Unfortunately, Gumov just about avoids the rear end of that Haas. But Moxie and Persiguili both slide through past the Haas.
Oh, as Moxie looks to line up Persiguili a little bit further behind than it originally looked. Gumov coming through as well. Yes, gets that move done. Oh, as we have cars going off, we have cars going in the wall.
Super Jesse and the Haas both having a bit of a moment in turn 1 there.
Now Persiguili wants to run away over 1 lap, or at least a quick stint. But these two have been very, very well matched. But with DRS activation in place this lap, we're going to come to this back straight with Moxie well inside DRS range.
And don't forget, Gumov in P3 is hanging on the back of that train as well. He's just slipped enough gap from Sim Rally Monster.
So, just seen Mushland make a big move around the outside. And there, Super Jesse just getting absolutely swamped in the back here. Oh, as Phoenix just managed to keep his nose out. We go back to the lead.
Back to Moxie. He does get a good exit down the start straight. Is he going to send a move down here? I think he is. Into turn 1. Is he going to let for the inside or the outside? Oh no.
Oh, just respects Persiguili's defence for now. There's Tezik, who had that big accident, ducking and diving underneath Looker Zone. Gets a bit of a loose rear end on the exit, but gets that move done. Fantastic. Glad we caught that one on stream.
So Moxie is again all over the back of the Mercedes gearbox in this technical Sector 2 section. This is where Moxie does feel stronger on his hunting grounds, as mentioned earlier. Is he going to be any match for Persiguili?
But, as I mentioned before, there's not been much shown in the way of team orders so far this championship. And Gumov is right there. He's got every right to challenge for this. Will he put his teammate in the dirt, in the eyes?
Max Duca making a move around Sim Rally Monster, and then Solid Ninja Snake then also overtakes his teammate. Whether that was some team orders from Haas there, but say...
Further behind, Batcher Lightyear right up close, and has to pull out. Then allows Mushland to close up.
Is Moxie going to send a move down the start straight here? He's gaining on Persiguili so much once again, but he doesn't seem to bait the move into turn 1. I think he's got a plan.
Oh, as Gumov almost goes into the back of him. I think Moxie's getting massively distracted by his teammate here. Gumov really out for himself. All the pack, apart from the last 3 drivers, in DRS range. Sprint to the finish from here. I think Moxie's looking for maybe a last lap overtake. So this is a battle of ERS saving, ERS tactics.
We've got Mulchin trying to send one on the inside of the Haas in the heavy braking point of Sector 2. Very respectable driving from both the drivers there. There's a little bit of a switch there, doesn't quite get it done. Great defending from Sim Rally Monster there. Is he going to send one on the inside of the DRS? I think he is. Yes, he is. Fantastic move from him, taking P9.
So he goes up to the top again. Moxie, even closer than he was on previous laps. If he gets the overspeed here, will he be forced to take the position that he doesn't want to take at this point? I think Persiguili with only a few laps, we might actually invite the overtake so we can overtake him on the final lap. We saw Gulmarv overtake on the line. I highly suspect they're both aiming for that with a yellow flag in sector 1. Surely this is not another safety car.
It's a Haas Rally Monster in turn 1 and a Mercedes. Johan, not quite sure what happened there.
They've managed to get going again, thankfully. Racing continues.
Backlight Year chasing down Solid Ninja Snake into sector 2 of this downhill section. Big on the brakes there just to avoid the Haas, but is all over him once again.
Not many people are electing for moves into turn 9 this season after seeing a few incidents. But Tezik really close in the back on Looker Zone. The Looker Zone looking with a bit better straight line speed. Keeps that defended. Oh, Tezik peppering his brakes.
Backlight Year going for a big move onto the Haas into the bus stop. Fantastic move from him. So Backlight Year takes P7.
There goes Moxie again. Within 2/10. He's right there, but I don't. Yeah, he doesn't want. I think this is tactical.
I think he's teasing him.
But that wasn't quite the exit he wanted. Out of Tarzan, Gulmarv is interested now. Is there any communication between them at all? Even just to say, I'm coming to take it.
Well, the first penalty of the night, I believe. Johan with a 3-second penalty.
Who then dives into the pits. Just laser focus, eyes unblinking on all three of these cars. They have gapped the rest of the field. The podium sitters have got this pretty much in the bag. It just depends what order they will finish. Persegili pulling a little bit more than a gap they did in the previous lap. Maybe that's tactical from Moxie, so he's not having to close up too much on Persegili before the braking.
Oh, Tash has gone turn 1. Is that a retire or still seems to be moving? I think he's just retired, but his car's just come back out onto track, which hopefully won't hinder the front runners.
I think he's retired. Well, they're going to get a yellow flag to.
Oh, look at Zone. That makes a move on Tezik down the straight into turn 1. Fantastic move. Tezik does hold off Max Duca, doesn't lose 2 places out and one straight.
Looker Zone showing great straight line speed in that Ferrari. Looking like a 2018 Ferrari. Unregulated.
Good old Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah. We're watching those AlphaTauris dance behind Persegili. Persegili really looking after his tyres.
Gulmarv getting very close to the back of Moxie then.
That's an uncomfortable distance if you're Moxie. As we have Looker Zone in the wall. Oh, disaster. The man who was doing so well, he can still hold on to the top 10 position if he gets going. But he's going to have Phoenix coming up behind him. But now we're going to stay on with the leaders for this entire lap. We are now on the fastest lap. Tactics are now out of the window. Now it is time to take the positions away from your opponents. There is no time left on the clock. We have 1 lap remaining. As Moxie looks for the dive, shows his nose.
Get it done.
No, he doesn't, not yet. Persegili gets a little bit snaky on the exit. They're going to go into the carousel aggressively. As drivers at the back of the grid are dropping like flies as they push really hard on the last bit of life these soft tyres have to give. The top 3 drivers all separate by less than half a second. Gulmarv the closer of the 3. Persegili looking awfully confident, light blinking. He has nothing left, he's given absolutely everything. Simu Rally Monster coming back out to set the fastest lap of the race. DRS open, if Persegili can survive this straight, he might just get it. Or was Moxie not looking quite as comfortable on the rear?
Oh, he gets a bit of a slip there.
Now this is going to be a fight to the line. Moxie is losing time here. Looks like Persegili is going to get this. He's going to lose 5 seconds. Now here comes Moxie. What can he do if he's on the slipstream? Oh, I don't know. I need to check the timing to see if he's got that on. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he's got that. I think he
just.
We'll have to go to the standings to see if that's underneath 5 seconds if he's won that. Or over 5 seconds, I should say. As Richard obviously won't get to keep this position as he's come home in AI. Super Jesse, who started the sprint in the lead, finishes in P12. Running Monster at least comes home with the fastest lap. And Johan, his time penalty won't make any difference now. There's no one's going to jump into that pocket. And he's going to round off this sprint weekend at the Dutch Grand Prix. So we're going to stay on just to check that gap to see if it gets removed for Persegili, if he's going to get that win. You'll have to listen in next week to hear what the stewards decide.
And so it was unfortunate. I was on board with Persegili when it did happen. It looked like he did make a move early on the restart. But as I say, it's just unfortunate. It was a ghosted AI car, and so they're just so unpredictable on the restarts.
So as we watch the AlphaTauri of Moxie take the top step of the podium after a steward's review, I'm sure we may see that change. But Persegili, even if that penalty sticks, will get to at least keep that P3 that he's celebrating right now. So we go to the race results. As we see, it was, waiting for it to tick over, 4.991, which would mean that Persegili actually did lead over the line. So if he gets that penalty removed, he will resume the lead of the race. So just going to quickly get the results for anybody that's checking back. There you go. And the sprint as well. So I've had a fantastic time. I think my drive of the day is going to who the drive of the day was in the sprint. I'm going to give it to Gulmarv. He was right in the mix all the time, did a lot of overtakes and kept his nose probably the cleanest out of everyone. Would you agree, Retro?
Yeah, definitely. So my driver of the day has definitely got to be one of the AlphaTauris. So fantastic driving from both of them. Moxie to swipe P1 in the sprint race, and then Gulmarv to swipe it in the sprint race, and then Moxie to then nearly do the exact same in the feature race. Fantastic racing from both the drivers there. It's been a heck of a race. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating with you again, buddy.
Yeah, just like old times. But we're going to see you again next week, 8 o'clock Sunday evening. We're going to have round 6 of AOR's season 27 in this F1 division. I've been with Fafa. He's been Retro. Have a good night. Bye.
Take it easy, folks.